I have a confession to make. When I became a stepmom, I thought the way to be successful was to just give more, to try harder, to show up bigger, and most of all, to fix what I felt was broken. I truly didn't realize that I was stepping into something that would cost me my peace, my connection with my new stepkids, and threaten the integrity of my marriage. Looking back, I can name it really clearly now. I had stepmom savior complex. And the tricky part was that it didn't feel unhealthy. It felt loving, it felt responsible, it felt like I was just stepping up. I mean, I saw the gaps, I saw the dysfunction, I saw where I thought that things could be better, and I genuinely believed that if I just poured enough into this family, I could stabilize it. What I didn't understand at the time is that stepfamilies just don't respond well to that kind of intensity. They respond to a better understanding of the system. It took me several years and a lot of humbling growth to understand that I wasn't helping the way I thought I was. So today, I want to talk about the stepmom savior complex, why so many of us fall into it, and what it actually costs us, and what we can do about it. When we blended households, my husband was parenting 3 and 5-year-old boys. My daughters were 9 and 15. Our worlds were so different. His home had been in survival mode, while mine had like a little more structure and rhythm to it. And I walked in with a lot of parenting experience and a lot of opinions on what I thought needed to change. I told myself that I was helping, but what I was really doing was over functioning. I started micromanaging schedules. I took over meals. I tried to fix picky eating. I stepped in to manage the boys' behavior. And I put pressure on my husband to parent differently. And when he felt overwhelmed or slow to change, I just started implementing things myself. I thought I was stabilizing the house, but I was actually steamrolling the whole system. Looking back, I can see that there were a few things driving me. I was trying to prove my worth. I wanted to be indispensable. I wanted to be the solution to the overwhelm that my husband had been carrying as a single dad. And I was really trying to overcompensate for loss. I mean, we'd both come out of a divorce. The kids had experienced so much change. And somewhere inside me was this urgency to make our home the stable, good one. But urgency doesn't build security. Rethinking the system does. Another trap that I fell into was that I also became my husband's emotional manager. If he felt grief or anger or avoidance around co parenting conversations, I just absorbed it. I tried to soothe it, I tried to fix it. I made his emotional world my responsibility. And slowly, without realizing it, I was carrying the weight that wasn't ever mine to carry. The hard part to admit is that my heart was really in the right place. I mean, I wanted to be a good wife, a good stepmom, a good mom, a stabilizing force. But instead of creating safety, all of my intensity just created a lot of pressure. And I burned myself out trying to hold everything together. What I didn't understand then, but I know very clearly now, is that this wasn't just about me trying too hard. It was a pattern. It's a very predictable stepfamily pattern, actually. And here's how it usually works. A stepmom feels like they're on the outside, so she overinvests to secure some belonging or just to regain a sense of control in the midst of so much change. The bio parent, sometimes they're relieved to have that help. They'll relax or even withdraw responsibility in subtle ways. Kids and partners feel the pressure of that shifting, and resistance starts to show up in lots of ways, some big, some small. And slowly, resentment builds. The more I tried to rescue, the more disconnected I actually felt. See, savior energy feels loving, but structurally, it just destabilizes things. Step families are, in fact, systems, and systems rebalance around intensity. When one adult overfunctions, either emotionally, logistically, or behaviorally, someone is going to underfunction. And that's not a character flaw, really. It's just systemic physics. For me, the reset began when I stopped trying to save the family and started rethinking the system. And to do this, I had to make 3 major shifts. The first shift was moving from rescuer to regulated adult. I stopped trying to fix everything that I saw. I stopped reacting to chaos with my own intensity. That was a big one. Because guess what? Step families don't need a hero. They need a calm, stable adult around who isn't trying to control the temperature of the room. Regulation builds a lot of safety, but rescuing just builds pressure. The second shift was moving from proving to partnering. I thought that belonging would come from how much I gave to everyone, but really, belonging in a step family is built on other things. One big one being creating alignment with your spouse, not through overinvestment in children who never chose you. And I'll tell you, that one was a hard one to swallow. When I stepped back and let my husband actually own his parenting role, our marriage actually strengthened. Side note, that doesn't mean that I just surrendered my own opinions or my parenting values. I didn't. We were having plenty of conversations and negotiations about how he parented the boys and how I parented my girls. But at the end of the day, I accepted that parenting his boys was truly his role to own, not mine. And the third shift was this: I stopped taking responsibility for things that weren't mine. Parents parent, step parents support. That doesn't mean that we disengage. It just means that we appropriately position ourselves. When roles are clear, kids feel safer, partners feel safer. When roles are blurry, everyone feels unsettled. I don't regret caring deeply, but I do regret believing that it was my job to save something that wasn't mine to fix. Step families don't need a savior, they just need a better structure. And when I shifted from rescuing to leading myself well, everything changed. If you see yourself in this pattern, you are not broken. You're just likely trying too hard in a system that needs less intensity and more clarity.